Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. I welcome you to our channel IAM Technocrats. I am really happy to welcome you all and for selecting this course. My name is okay, let's leave the name. I don't think that matters here. What matters here is this course. Today I have brought another IAM course for you guys. The course is named as 5 Pillars of Identity and Access Management. I hope this will assist you to learn about the 5 important pillars of IAM. This course will help you to learn their definitions, importance, core components and benefits. So let's get started then. In today's evolving business and technological environments, there is need of information security to protect information from a wide range of threats to ensure business continuity, minimize business risk, maximize return on investments and business opportunities. IAM is a suite of complementary services rated based on policies, processes, and supporting technologies that enable an organization to manage access to its resources over time. Let me introduce myself to you all. I am a computer science and engineering graduate, currently working for US-based MNC as a lead IAM engineer. I am having 11 years of IT experience with 7 years of experience in IAM. I have worked for various India, US and Euro-based MNCs. I have also worked for Big 4 companies. I am AZ900, SC300, ITIL V4 Foundation certified and SailPoint Identity Now Administration and Implementation trained professional. I have worked on multiple identity governance and administration tools, implementation projects, and their engineering. I have recently achieved SailPoint Identity Security Leader credentials. So stay tuned to learn more. Thank you for staying so far. Here are the 5 pillars of identity and access management. First, identity management. Second, access management. Third, privilege access management. Fourth, access governance. And the fifth, directory services. Let's discuss in brief. Identity management is the process and technologies collectively used to manage the life cycle of digital identities for people, systems and services. Access management is the processes and technologies collectively used to manage who has access to what specific resources. Privilege access management. PAM is the processes associated with managing privilege accounts in the system. Access governance is the process used to control who has access to specific information assets. The last, directory services, is the collection of software and processes that store information about your enterprise, subscribers or both. Now let's discuss these 5 pillars of identity and access management one by one in details. What is identity management? Identity management is a framework of policies, processes, and technologies that governs the life cycle of user identities within an organization. It focuses on creating, maintaining, and managing digital identities, enabling secure access to systems, applications, and data. Key objectives of identity management include ensuring that the right individuals access the right resources, protecting sensitive data by minimizing unauthorized access, enhancing operational efficiency through streamlined identity controls. Identity management includes the following: identity lifecycle, role management and mining, user and organization management, provisioning, password management, requests and approval workflows, self-service applications, identity intelligence and analytics, delegated administration, and privileged account management. The identity lifecycle. The lifecycle of a digital identity includes the following stages. First, creation. When a new user joins an organization, their identity is created in the system. This includes basic information such as name, role, and permission. Next stage is provisioning. Once created, the identity is provisioned with access rights tailored to the user's job responsibilities, following the principle of least privilege. Next is authentication. Users verify their identity through authentication methods such as passwords, biometrics, or multi-factor authentication. Authorization. After authentication, the user is granted access based on their permissions. This ensures that they can only access resources relevant to their role. Next stage is monitoring. User activity is monitored to detect anomalies or unauthorized access attempts, ensuring compliance and security. Last stage is deactivation or deletion. When an employee leaves or no longer requires access, their identity is deactivated or deleted to prevent misuse. Core components of identity management. First is identity governance. Policies and controls that ensure proper management of identities, access rights, and compliance with regulations. Second, authentication mechanisms. Technologies like MFA, single sign-on, and passwordless authentication enhance identity verification processes. The third is access management. Access management controls that determines who can access what resources and under what conditions. The last is directory services. Directory services are the centralized repositories such as Microsoft Active Directory, store and manage user information and credentials. Let's look at the key benefits of identity management. First is enhanced security. By managing identities effectively, organizations reduce the risk of unauthorized access, data breaches, and insider threats. Second, regulatory compliance. Laws such as GDPR, HIPAA, and CCPA require stringent identity controls to protect personal and sensitive data. Next is improved efficiency. Automating identity processes reduce manual errors and improves operational productivity. Last is user experience. Features like SSO streamline access for users, minimizing frustration and improving their satisfaction. Yes, of course, there are challenges in identity management also. First is complex environments. Hybrid and multi-cloud infrastructures complicate identity management, requiring seamless integration across systems. Second is evolving threats. Cybercriminals exploit weak authentication processes, necessitating constant updates and improvements. Next is human error. Mistakes in provisioning or deprovisioning identities can lead to unauthorized access or security gaps. The last is scalability. Growing organizations face challenges in maintaining consistent identity practices for expanding user bases. Let's look at some of the emerging trends in identity management. Zero Trust Framework. Trust is never assumed. Every access request is verified, regardless of location or user role. Decentralized identity. Users control their own digital identities using blockchain-based systems, reducing reliance on central authorities. Artificial intelligence in identity management. AI enhances identity verification and detects anomalies in user behavior for proactive threat mitigation. Passwordless authentication. Solutions like biometric and cryptographic keys are replacing traditional passwords to improve security and user experience. Let's look at the best practices for effective identity management. First is implement role-based access control, also known as RBAC. Assign access permissions based on user roles, minimizing excessive privileges. Adopt multi-factor authentication or MFA. Add an extra layer of security by requiring multiple forms of identity verification. Next is regular access audits. Periodically review and update user permissions to ensure compliance and security. Last is invest in identity management solutions. Deploy robust identity and access management platforms to automate and centralize processes. Let's conclude the identity management section. Identity management is a critical enabler of digital security, ensuring that only the right people have access to the right resources at the right times. As cyber threats continue to evolve, organizations must adopt advanced identity management practices to safeguard their systems, data, and users. By embracing innovations such as zero trust, AI-driven monitoring, and passwordless authentication, business can build a more secure and efficient digital environment. The next pillar is access management. So, what is access management? Access management refers to the processes and technologies used to control and monitor access to systems, networks, and data. It includes authenticating users, determining their permissions, and managing their interactions with resources based on predefined rules. The goal is to strike a balance between accessibility and security, ensuring users can perform their tasks efficiently without compromising sensitive information. Access management is a critical component of modern cybersecurity. In today's interconnected digital landscape, managing who has access to information and resources is more critical than ever. Access management serves as a cornerstone of cybersecurity, ensuring that only authorized individuals can access specific systems, applications, or data while protecting against unauthorized intrusions. Providing the capability to request specific entitlements and roles. Implementing workflow processes for approving the granting of entitlements or roles to a user. Providing the ability to modify or remove the entitlements and roles assigned to a user. Managing the association of entitlements to roles. Here are the core components of access management. First, authentication. Authentication verifies a user's identity. Common methods include password-based authentication. It is a traditional but vulnerable to breaches. Multi-factor authentication or MFA. It combines two or more verification factors like passwords, biometrics, or OTPs. Next is biometric authentication. The examples are fingerprints, facial recognition, single sign-on. It allows users to log in once and access multiple systems. The second is authorization. Once authentication is done, authorization determines what resources a user can access and what actions they can perform. This involves defining roles, permissions, and access levels. For example, read-only access for viewers or full control for administrators. The third is account management. Access management includes lifecycle management of user accounts, provisioning, creating accounts and granting access, deprovisioning, disabling accounts when employees leave, access reviews, periodic audits to ensure access is still appropriate. The last point is monitoring and auditing. Continuous monitoring of access logs and user activities is essential to detect anomalies and unauthorized attempts. This helps maintain compliance and identify security threats. Let's look into the key benefits of effective access management. The first is enhanced security. By limiting access to only what users need, access management reduces the risk of insider threats and external breaches. Second is regulatory compliance. Industries like healthcare, finance, and data protection mandate strict access controls. Access management helps to meet these requirements. Improved productivity. Features like SSOs streamline the user experience, reducing login times and support requests related to forgotten passwords. The last is risk mitigation. Restricting access based on roles minimizes the attack surface, lowering the chances of data breaches. Let's see the challenges in access management, and they are complexity, human error, scalability, and evolving threats. Complexity is managing access in hybrid and multi-cloud environments can be complicated, requiring integration across diverse systems. Human error means misconfiguration in permissions or failure to revoke access promptly can lead to vulnerabilities. Scalability means as organizations grow, ensuring consistent access control for an expanding number of users becomes challenging. The last, evolving threats. Cybercriminals constantly innovate techniques to bypass traditional access controls, necessitating regular updates and improvements. Let's look into the emerging trends in access management. First, Zero Trust Security. Zero Trust principles ensure that strict identity verification for every user and device, regardless of whether they are inside or outside the network. Adaptive Access Management. This dynamic approach adjusts access permissions in real time based on context such as location, device, or behavior. Decentralized identity. Blockchain-based solutions are emerging to allow users to control their digital identities without relying on central authorities. AI and machine learning. These technologies enable predictive access controls and anomaly detection, improving security effectiveness. Let's see the best practices to follow while implementing access management. Adopt the principle of least privilege. It grants users the minimum level of access necessary for their roles. Use multi-factor authentication. It enhances security by requiring multiple verification methods. Regular audit access rights. It ensures permissions align with current roles and responsibilities. And the last is invest in identity and access management tools. These tools automate and centralize access management processes. Let's conclude the second pillar of IAM. Access management is a foundational element of any robust cybersecurity strategy. By implementing effective access controls, organizations can safeguard their resources, ensure regulatory compliance, and foster a secure digital environment. As threats evolve and digital ecosystems expand, continuous innovation and vigilance in access management are paramount. The third pillar of IAM is Privileged Access Management. So, what is PAM? Privileged Access Management refers to securing and managing elevated or privileged accounts that have access to critical systems and data. It ensures that privileged users operate securely and compliantly. Since privileged accounts give access to the heart of enterprise, its compliance requirements are putting a strong emphasis on privileged password management, including tracking users when they are being used and what they are being used for. Privileged or elevated access refers to one or more of the following criteria: access to systems and resources beyond standard levels, have highly privileged access to IT resources, ability to grant access to other users, significant impact financial statements, perpetrate fraud, have access to sensitive information, for example, customer data, intellectual property, or EPHI. Here are few risks of unmanaged privileges. Common risk contains misuse of elevated access, insider threats, vulnerabilities to cyber attacks targeting privileged accounts. The real-world impacts are data breaches, operational disruptions, and reputational damage. Privileged account management lifecycle includes discovery, onboarding, control, monitor, and deprovisioning. Discovery identify privileged accounts and credentials. Onboarding centralize and secure accounts in a vault. Control enforce policies and workflows for access requests. Monitor, log and analyze privileged activities. Deprovisioning, revoke access when accounts are no longer needed. Here are the core components of PAM. Privileged account discovery. Identifying privileged accounts across systems and applications. Access control. Enforcing role-based and least privilege access. Credential management. Securing passwords through automated vaulting and rotation. Monitoring and auditing. Tracking privileged activities for suspicious behavior. Session management. Recording privileged sessions for compliance and forensic analysis. Let's see few benefits of PAM. Enhanced security. It minimizes attack surfaces and protects against credential theft. Operational efficiency. It automates password management and simplifies access workflows. Regulatory compliance. It meets requirements for data security laws like GDPR, HIPAA, SOX. Reduced risk. It mitigates insider threats and unauthorized access. Here are the emerging trends in PAM. Zero Trust Architecture. Never trust, always verify. Approach for access. AI and machine learning. Detecting anomalies in privileged account behavior. Cloud PAM solutions. Managing privileged accounts in hybrid and multi-cloud environments. Privileged identity as a service. Outsourced cloud-based PAM solutions. The best practices for implementing PAM are: adopt the principle of least privilege. It provides users with the minimum level of access required. Use MFA. It strengthens security for privileged accounts. Regular access reviews. It periodically audits privileged access rights. Automate password rotation. It ensures passwords are regularly updated and securely stored. Monitor privileged activities. It uses session recording and anomaly detection. Let's conclude privileged access management. PAM is essential for securing critical accounts. It protects against insider threats and external attacks. Adopting PAM enhances security, compliance, and operational efficiency. So, start your journey towards secure privileged access today. The fourth pillar of IAM is access governance. So, what is access governance? Access governance involves defining, implementing, and monitoring policies that govern how users access systems, data, and applications. Data access governance allows the organization to mitigate the risk of insider theft, attacks, and data breach events through in-depth access analysis and remediation. Fulfill compliance requirements throughout out-of-the-box workflows, remediation techniques, and reporting. Ensure least privilege access control principle so that users have just the right amount of access to do their jobs. Integrate data management, data access governance tool with current third-party and homegrown applications and systems to get the most out of your technology investment. Access governance lifecycle includes identification. Identify all users and resources. Provisioning. Assign access based on business needs and roles. Monitoring. Continuously track and analyze access activities. Certification. Periodic reviews to ensure access is still appropriate. Deprovisioning. Revoke access for inactive or unnecessary accounts. Let's see the core principles of access governance, and they are visibility, control, accountability, and automation. Visibility. Comprehensive insights into who has access to what. Control. Enforce policies to ensure least privilege access. Accountability. Maintain an audit trail of access changes and activities. Automation. Streamline processes like provisioning and deprovisioning. Here are the key components of access governance. First is role-based access control. Assigning permissions based on roles to simplify management. Next, access certification. Periodic reviews to validate access permissions. The third is policy enforcement. Defining and automating rules for granting access. And the last is auditing and reporting. Monitoring and documenting access activities for compliance. Let's see the challenges in access governance. Complexity. Managing access across hybrid and multi-cloud environments. Scalability. Adopting to growing user bases and applications. Human error. Incorrectly assigning or failing to revoke access. Regulatory pressure. Ensuring compliance with GDPR, HIPAA, SOX, etc. Here are the benefits of access governance. It enhances security by reducing risk of insider threats and data breaches. It improves compliance by meeting regulatory and industry standards. It is operational efficient as it automates workflows, reducing manual errors, and it mitigates risk by ensuring least privilege access to minimize exposure. Let's see emerging trends in access governance. AI-driven access insights, predictive analytics for risk-based access decisions, zero trust architecture, verifying every access request regardless of origin, identity analytics, using machine learning to detect anomalous access patterns, integration with IAM solutions, seamless integration with identity and access management tools. The best practices for effective access governance includes adopt the principle of least privilege. It grants only the access necessary for job roles. Conduct regular access reviews. It periodically validates and updates permissions. Implement policy-based access controls. It uses rules and automation to enforce consistency. Leverage access governance tools. Invest in solutions like SailPoint, Savient, or One Identity. Let's conclude the fourth pillar of IAM, which is access governance. Access governance ensures secure and compliant access control. It balances user productivity with organizational security needs. Automating access governance processes improves scalability and reduces risks. So, start building a robust access governance framework today. The fifth and final pillar of IAM is directory services. So what are directory services? A directory service is a centralized database that stores, organizes, and provides access to information about users, devices, applications, and more. Most directories follow a hierarchy database format based on X.500 standard and a type of protocol as in Lightweight Directory Access Protocol (LDAP) that allows subjects and applications to interact with the directory. The objects within the directory are managed by directory services. The data is organized within a directory using namespaces. The directory service assigns distinguished name (DN) to each object. Each DN represents a collection of attributes about each object and is stored in the directory as an entry. Here are the most popular directory services. Microsoft Active Directory. It is widely used in Windows environments for centralized management. Azure Active Directory. It is cloud-based directory service for Microsoft 365 and Azure. Open LDAP. It is open source directory service implementation. Amazon Cognito, the directory service for managing user authentication in AWS environment. The core functions of directory services are authentication, authorization, centralized management, and policy enforcement. Authentication verifies user identities through credentials, for example username and password. Authorization controls access to resources based on permissions. Centralized management manages users, devices, and policies from a single point. Policy enforcement applies rules like password complexities and session timeouts. The key components of directory services are directory database, lightweight directory access protocol, replication, and access control. Directory database stores hierarchical data about users, groups, devices, etc. LDAP is standard protocol for accessing and managing directory information. Replication synchronizes directory data across multiple servers for availability. Access control defines who can read, write, or manage data in the directory. Here are the challenges of directory services. Complex configuration. Setting up and maintaining directories can be challenging. Integration issues. Difficulty in integration with non-standard systems. Security risks. Poorly managed directories can become a target for cyber attacks. High availability needs. Downtime can disrupt critical business operations. Let's see the benefits of directory services. Centralized administration manages multiple users and devices from one place. Improved security enforces strong authentication and access policies. Scalability easily manage growing user bases in large organizations. Cost efficiency reduces the need for decentralized management systems. Emerging trends in directory services are cloud-based directory services. Shift to services like Azure AD and Google Cloud Identity. Hybrid directory models, combining on-premises and cloud directories. AI and automation, using AI to detect anomalies and automate administrative tasks. Decentralized identity, blockchain-based solution for user-controlled identities. Let's conclude the final pillar of IAM, directory services. Directory services are vital for secure and efficient identity management. They simplify IT administration and enable seamless user experiences. Emerging trends like cloud adoption and AI are reshaping directory services. Evaluate your directory services today to ensure they align with modern needs. Hope you enjoyed the learning. Let's take a moment to summarize what we have learned. Some of the content seems similar in these topics, but they are different in real implementation. We got knowledge on the 5 pillars of IAM one by one. We learned about their definitions, life cycles, core components, key benefits, challenges, best practices, and emerging trends. At last, I would like to thank you to view and learn our course on behalf of our channel IAM Technocrats. I hope you got a valuable knowledge as never before. If so, do like, subscribe and share with your friends and known who really want to make their career in identity and access management. Stay tuned to learn more. Please share your feedback in comments section. You can also write us at imtechnocrats@gmail.com or message on Instagram at IAMTechnocrats. You can also follow us on Instagram as well at IAMTechnocrats. Stay tuned and thank you for watching.